Yeah, girl, it's been a minute since I got with you. Conversating, do nothing right with you. Hold me close.
Okay, so a lot of crazy things have been happening. We've been having a really good time, but it's finally time to leave. I really haven't had much time to vlog, you know, ever since. I don't know what was my last clip about, but then I haven't really had much time to vlog. And right now, we are leaving Harare, Zimbabwe. Yes, we're about to go. And unfortunately, we had to spend such little time in Harare, but then it's time to leave, it's time to go. But in terms of trading, this week overall has been absolutely really good, especially with my team. I'm really proud of those guys. They've been doing absolutely really good. This was I don't know, check out, I think this was Mr. Jin that I was talking to. His winning to losing ratio absolutely beautiful for this month of April. He's been executing the trading plan really well, and I'm super proud of him. We also have another one here. I'm not sure who that was, but I'm thinking it on the top of my head so that I can then put the screenshot here. But then also absolutely really good execution, management, and oh, I think this was Siobhan. Yes, I think this was Miss Siobhan or something like that. Yes, Miss Siobhan, right? Yes, I think that was her. So forgive me if I'm not, you know, saying the correct things. But the team has been absolutely executing really good. Obviously, you have like one or two other people that are not yet doing like their due diligence. They are not executing well. They're still struggling a bit. But those are things that, you know, you meet as you are mentoring and all of those other things. But overall, the team has been doing really good. And yeah, that's just a quick update from me. We are not yet going back to Europe, so we'll be going to going to a different country altogether in Africa. Why did I even say that? Going to a different city in Africa. So we'll be going to a totally different country in Africa, and then we're going to also have a really good time there. So we'll be going to the airport tonight, and I think I'll pick up a vlog from there. Yep. Alright guys, it is actually just like 3 a.m. in the morning right now. We're just at the airport and we're about to leave Zimbabwe. Actually, we're about to leave. Our bags are packed, everything, we're going. We had a trade on USD. It is currently running plus. Yes, you saw how much, right? The thing is, I've already shifted my stop loss to around $7,500. Such a beautiful trade. Thinking by the time we land, might have hit the stop loss at break even, but then it doesn't really matter. That's a beautiful movement that we had. Right now, we're flying to South Africa. Yes. Oh, I already spoiled it for you guys, right? I'm flying to South Africa right now as we speak, and then we'll be landing at around. We leave at 6. Then we're landing at around 7 something. Yeah. So. Yeah, let's go to South Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Airbus A320 has 4 emergency exits and 4 overwing exits. All exits are clearly marked and we are pointing them out to you now. Kindly switch on mobile phones, e-readers, electronic tablets to flight mode or the equivalent mode in preparation for takeoff.
You and me is like perfection. I've been loving our progression, but I gotta make a confession, no. Lately I've been having questions, oh. See, I've been missing your.
Short taps mean stay, long strokes mean go. Hands talking fluid when I touch you real slow. Body sending signals like a real churro. I'm locked in, baby, tapped in like Morse code. Dot, dot, dash, got you moving all in sync. Why you yelling at me when you ride it on the sink? Ain't no capping, baby girl, you already know. Tap, 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 tapped in like Morse code. Right on your back end, fact is, I crack your code, unlike your last man. Past tense, want you forever, let's make it last in. Trying to side your waters and I'm locked in, baby, tapped in like Morse code. Dot, dot, dash, got you moving all the sync. Why you yelling at me when you ride it on the sink? Ain't no capping, baby girl, you are the position.
Alright, what is up you guys? How you guys doing? It's a lovely Friday today, and yeah, so I literally did not vlog for the entire week. Why? Because we did not have a single trade, right? So I was traveling. I'm currently in a different African country, and I'll give you guys a little bit of hints, or you guys will pick it up during the entire vlogs that will come. So what just happened is we had a limit order that I had given on gold in the inner circle, and right now that has been triggered and we are currently, you know, sitting in good profit. So I just updated the inner circle right now that our gold trade has been triggered and we are sitting in good profit, as you guys can see, of plus $500 right over there. So I was having 2 trades, and that means that this is our first take profit that has been hit. So there wasn't really anything much to record or to, you know, talk about, because the market did not actually give us any opportunities to jump in. So when there is no setup, it means that, you know, there is no trade. No setup means that there is no trade. On the other hand, though, with the Platinum group, we always have a live session on Mondays. So we did have a live session, which was really nice, and we caught this beautiful NASDAQ trade that you guys are seeing right over here. Unfortunately, I only traded this with the live session live because I couldn't, like, you know, whilst I'm on the live typing out a signal and all of those things. So only the Platinum group was able to catch this trade, and in fact some of them did not get the trade because, you know, we're not going to just blindly follow what I'm saying. So I had my own thoughts, other people had their own thoughts. I entered into the trade with a few other guys, and then some people did not actually enter, which makes it very, very interesting. You understand that everyone is having thoughts of their own selves. They're able to sit down, analyze and understand what is happening, and still question to say, no, I would rather wait for this to happen before I just jump, you know, blindly into the trade. But other than that, that was the beautiful trade that we caught on the NASDAQ. So entirely for this current week, I had 3 trades personally. I had 1 gold trade with the inner circle, which gave us 1 TP, and we're still currently in the trade. I see the market closed off and it was retracing. Then we had the second trade with the Platinum group, which was on Monday. That was an excellent trade. It played out throughout. Then we had the third trade, which was a free signal. This one I shared it with the CTG Instagram group. So I literally dropped this you know, setup that you guys are seeing right over here, and this was very simple. I'll explain it to you guys when we go over onto the charts, but I told them that you don't want to be liquidity in the market, right? So I told them that we're going to break out of this area, and I gave them a free limit order that was here. I set it up everything with the stop loss and the take profit, and right now what has happened is we have hit the full take profit that you guys are seeing right over there, the full entire take profit of that particular trade. So those are the 3 trades that I actually had for this current week. That's about it. Nothing too crazy that has been happening. So that's why I didn't vlog. There was nothing much to talk about in terms of trading. Right now, what we want to do is we want to play tennis. Yes, sir. We just want to go on the court, play some tennis. So yeah, it's just that it's actually currently still very hot, but I have myself a really nice tennis racket, as you can see right over here. We just had to get new ones because we want to make this like a proper thing where, you know, instead of, I guess I'll be swimming when I'm in Europe and then I'll be playing tennis when I'm in Africa. It'll balance out, right? So that's about it. I think this looks really nice. So got myself a really nice tennis racket, and yeah, I also like the bag, nice and cool, very portable. I only brought like 2 pairs of shoes when I came because it's always going to be hot here. I had to grab a pair of sneakers. Yeah, so to show you that ball has really fallen, but anyway, to show you guys that we are ready. Yes, that's about it. We have all the essentials. As you can see, I am ready to play. So we're also waiting for the markets to close so that I can do the weekly analysis for you guys. I think I'll try and do it today. We're going to just play tennis. This is going to be my not exactly first time. I did play tennis back in school, but then that's been a long time. I don't even think I was playing it properly back then. But right now, yeah, we're just going to go back on the court. Let me see if I still enjoy it. If you guys already saw in the last vlog, when I was telling you guys that, you know, my little brother, his guy is starting his golf. So this was us going around, you know, trying to buy things for him for his golf lessons, his very first golf lessons. So
golf attire, most expensive, 125. So shorts, these are some of the shorts. These are the shorts I have for $50. And then from there, we will need what are called tees. Hearing you play in the evenings. That is about all that you need.
So that's a rough estimate of around how much like $2,000 something, right?
So, Inini as your coach, by let's say relation 8, 9, 10, then that go out. Are you ready?
Ready.
With them course. I did.
Yeah. Whilst he's doing that, I will be playing tennis. So yeah, that's about it. Let's just get straight into it. I think I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. But yeah, let's go. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you're new finding the channel for the first time, welcome. We trade the NASDAQ over here. If you're returning, welcome back. You know what's up. Don't forget, hit that like button, turn your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel. You feel me? So now let us go and start this game. It's hot. It's actually really hard. I am sweating a river, if you guys cannot see. But yeah, gotta use this hat before I don't have a normal cap for tennis. But anyway, time to serve again. Yeah, I also need one. Oh man, oh man. Okay, so this is our, I don't know what number round that is, but this game is so much fun. I think I'll actually want to play. Ah, damn, you see the side is too much. So we done lost all of our balls inside that place there, so we have to go and pick them up again. But anyway, this is so much fun. Actually, so much fun. I'm always telling you guys to stay active. This is very, very important, you guys. If you don't have anything that is keeping you active, make sure you start getting one. Nothing like having a hobby. Alright, so you test and try. It doesn't mean you have to play every single sport that's out there, but like, you know, try out, test it out, test everything out. You need to be active. You'll realize this in the later stages of your life. You know, it's all fun and games when you are, it's all fun and games when you're always seated at home, you know, enjoying life until the 40s and the 50s kick in and you don't have strength. Nah. Yo, the way I'm sweating is crazy. Ooh. You like it?
I like it.
Do you think it's stressful?
No.
Are we going for a second round or no?
Wait.
No, after we rest. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's the time?
shit. I am sweating. Okay, so right now, not much progress on our trade. It is still just playing around. We're kind of like having a retest. Oh, we're having a retest. So I don't think. Oh, my head is spinning. It is too hot. I don't think we are going to get anything much out of this trade because I already see the sellers stepping into this market. So I need a fan, but because I'm sweating so bad. Okay, so we're kind of like we are retesting right now this level. So I think gold is something that we're going to just wait for and see for the new week because it's almost going back. Well, it is still up there, but I see this type of candle. It is an evening star, so the market might just start retracing from here. But anyway, yeah, we need to get some water right now. Then I don't know if we're going to continue, but yeah, it is so much fun. If you haven't tried tennis, highly recommend. Right? Yeah. All right, another round. Let's go. All right, you guys. Now I think we're going to call that a wrap right now, and because you can see the sun out there is like burning. It's burning. It's crazy. So that's about it. We're gonna wait for refreshments right now. I mean, tennis is a pretty interesting game, especially when it is not under these weather conditions. I think you have such a great time playing it. So we're gonna just chill right now here. This is where you see a chameleon coming out of this place. But I'm not sure if this can hold me. Okay. All right. I just want to lie down and okay, I can't move my head. I think that is going to be like really dirty. But yeah, guys, I'm tired. You don't understand. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna get some refreshments. We're gonna wrap it up here. Then we're gonna go to the spa, right? You're gonna go to the spa so that we can just relax. And this was a stressful day. Yes, it's stressful for us. This is the most we can do in a day, right? Play tennis, and then we are stressed out, right? So we're gonna go to the spa. Then after that, I think during dinner I will do the weekly analysis for you guys. But other than that, yes, let's go.
Hearing you play in the evenings.
I don't even know if you guys can hear me, but well, my microphone is down, so I'm gonna try and do this really fast. If I see that the audio is bad, we'll just have to wait until tomorrow, when I'm in a more quiet place. That is when I get back to my room. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go straight on to the charts. Let's just start talking about what we're expecting to see in the market from tomorrow, from Monday, when the market actually opens. The first thing is we're at NASDAQ closing at all-time highs, which is really, really good. It was consolidating right at the all-time high. What I'm seeing right over here, and that is very excellent, because when you see a consolidation at all-time highs, this is really good for us. It means that the market wants to probably continue shooting up to the top, right? So that is something that is really nice. Let's see on. Then we had US30 retracing. We have the sellers stepping into the market right after we hit a very significant level. Now, when you're always analyzing, this is what I always want you guys to look out for, right? Don't just look at the market blindly. Understand what it is doing. You can currently see that, yes, of course, the buyers try to push the market upside. In fact, they pushed the market to the upside. The moment you see such a big bullish momentum candlestick here, you know that there's a high chance that this market wants to continue pushing up, right? So that's the same thing that we are seeing right here. You can see how the sellers are aggressively stepping into the market. And where are they doing that? They're doing that right at a resistance zone, right? Let's see if this is an actual resistance zone, or I am just saying things. There you go. Perfect, right? Something that looks like a very, very good previous resistance zone. So this was a resistance zone from around about February before the market tanked down. Then we pushed up to the upside. Look at this type of candlestick. So what we want to do right now is top-down analysis. This is the only time, or I mean, not even the only time, but most of the times people want to just say, every single market needs technical analysis, but it's not always the case, right? Just on our 4-hour time frame, we can see that the sellers are currently stepping into the market, but then notice on the daily time frame, we can clearly see that the buyers are definitely in control just by this bullish momentum plus engulfing candlestick, right? We got to a certain price level, and then the buyers and the sellers started negotiating, right? That's how you're seeing this little, consolidation that we're having here. Remember our slogan: whenever you see a consolidation that is happening right at a resistance zone, you know that there's a high chance that the market is going to break out in the direction of the overall trend, which is what we're already seeing by this bullish momentum candlestick plus engulfing candlestick, right? So the buyers and the sellers are negotiating right at this price. They started negotiating when the market got to this level. The buyers wanted to push the price higher so that it can go into new territory. The sellers are like, no, you can't. And then they are now negotiating here. This is why you're seeing we have this little stalemate that is happening right over here. The sellers dropped the market, then the buyers stepped in. But right now they have stepped in with enough force, right? But this setup is not confirmed up until we break out of this area. So we have retested this level again, and we have not yet broken out. That is the only time we're going to get a confirmation from this level. We want to see the market breaking out of this zone and closing outside of this zone. Then we know that what? Yes, the buyers are in control. So right now we're going to let the sellers do their thing, but we have to have our eyes open there because we already know what the market is likely to do, right? On the daily time frame. So that's more like our top-down analysis, right? We're saying on the daily time frame, yes, indeed, the buyers are in control, but they have not yet broken out of a significant level. On the 4-hour time frame, they broke out of that particular level right here, you can see, but then the sellers stepped in right immediately. So what they're possibly doing right now is they're trying to go and find support right in this area, as you can see, because we broke out of this little area once upon a time. Let me just delete this. We don't need it anymore. It was a good trade indeed. So what I'm saying is we broke out of this area which was a resistance zone, a nice breakout. We are coming back to try and retest that level, right? So want to see if the market is able to find support. That is what the market is doing. It's looking for support. If it finds support in this area, then it will have enough strength to push it up again and break out of that zone. That is the only time we want to take the trade. So it's not going to be as it's finding support. It's going to be after it has found the support and gone to this level, broken out of it. Our main interest is it disrespecting entirely this level here. Once it breaks out properly out of this level, then even if it comes back down, we can now get another trade and ride it up to the top. So I'm really targeting this, particular trade. The moment we break out of here, I'll be looking for entries, and then we go back up to the top. So in short, that's exactly how you always want to do top-down analysis, right? You don't just want to say every single time you open the market, then you just want to just say, oh, we do top-down analysis. We start from the daily time frame. Yes, it is good to get a bias, but sometimes it doesn't even make any sense. You just do it when it's, clashing, or when you're not understanding exactly what another time frame is doing. Then you go onto a larger time frame. If I didn't even understand what the daily time frame was doing, I would go to even a larger time frame, which is the weekly time frame, and so on and so on, right? So if you notice, that's what I said. The daily and the 4-hour time frame are saying two different things, but we always go with what the daily time frame is saying. But in overall, we just want to see a proper breakout of this area. Then we go for the all-time highs. So that's our setup on USD. We'll only take a trade once the market has broken out of that 49897 level. Right now, let's go over onto the NASDAQ. Let's see what NASDAQ is saying. Once again, we are at all-time highs on the NASDAQ. As you guys can already see, we can see the type of setup that it's having. This is really beautiful. When we're trading at all-time highs, it's interesting because a lot of traders are hesitant to jump into the market because they think that it's overbought, oversold, and they want the markets to reverse immediately as it just hits certain levels, right? So what we're going to do is we'll mark up our resistance zone right over there. Let me see on a daily time frame if we don't have a nice support area that it formed. So I always like to mark my supports. If it looks like this, the only way I mark my support is using each time I see the seller stepping in. So this particular area for me becomes the support, right? I would prefer to take the lower one. So in short, this particular area becomes my support for this particular zone, because this is when the sellers tried to resist this market from pushing up to the top. Then the all-time highs becomes, my resistance. So that's my ceiling and my floor, right? Now, obviously, like I said, you see in this particular case, there's nothing that I want to analyze on this daily time frame. What exactly do you want to analyze on the time frame where let me just clear this, you are just having such an impulsive movement? What do you want to draw here? What kind of trend line, what kind of zones do you want to mark up here? You don't do that, right? So in this particular case, you just go to a more flexible time frame. In this case, this is the 4-hour time frame, and also here I can't really just draw a trend line. So I already know my support zone, right? So I'm going to just now what I'm doing is code refining the entry, right? So I'm going to take this level instead, this particular level that you're seeing right over here. Why? Because we broke out of this resistance zone, we came back, we retested it once, we shot up to the top, and then it tried to come and retest it again, but it could not. Obviously, I'm not going to take these close levels because I already explained this in almost all of my videos, that you do not want to use a stop loss that is right next to the zone, right? It doesn't even make any sense. So trying to buy in this particular area will not give me a flexible stop loss level, which is why I would just take this particular zone. And if I do that, I know that, let's say I find an entry point in this area, I have a flexible place to put my stop loss. Even if we go onto the daily time frame, you'll see that it actually looks really, really good. Look at that, in line with my support area and all of those other things. Right now, also what I'm noticing right now is this stop loss. Yeah, I didn't think that through, but you can already see that this stop loss is actually in a support zone, right? So this is going to now need what we call situational analysis, because you never put stop loss inside the support area. Stop loss is always placed at a zone that if the market comes to that level, it means you're wrong on that particular trade. Now you can see that I cannot really put my stop loss here like this. It's too tight, and also I can't put my stop loss right in this particular level. Why? Because this is a support zone. What it means is my stop loss has to come outside of that zone for that particular reason. Of course, we have another support area, but then this one is kind of like far away. It can give us distance to put stop loss. And then what I need to do now is play around with my entry within this zone, right? So I'm going to see if the market would allow me to be flexible like that. I would first look for, let's say I get good confirmation in the first zone that you're seeing right over here, right? Because remember, this is the daily time frame, so it might end up turning into a swing trade. But I want to see like good support, good confirmation, like good candles here, preferably, like I always tell you guys, the bullish engulfing candlestick. I love that one. So if I see it right here, I know that I want to jump into the trade, and then I always have my eyes open right here if I am entering into a trade, because this automatically does not become an A plus setup since we have another support zone right below it, right? So if you jump into this trade, this is when you hear me saying that this is a risky entry, because I know that I'm jumping in here. Obviously, my stop loss is going to be slightly or a lot more tight in this particular zone, but then I'll only enter after I have excellent confirmation in this particular zone and want to ride it up to the top. If this particular trade fails, then we will not hesitate to jump into a re-entry here after we see good confirmation once again. So this is exactly what you want to do. And that was actually a nice lesson, because I think a lot of people do struggle with that a lot, right? So you saw how I marked it up and how I just explained it. If you didn't understand it or you think I was too fast, just rewind it and let it sink. You can watch it over and over again. But that is something that you would actually need when you are analyzing. So it doesn't look complicated. On NASDAQ, I think I'm going to use the daily time frame for my analysis. Once the market comes into this first zone right over here, I want to see what it does on the 4-hour time frame, the type of candlesticks that it's going to be giving me in this particular zone, if they're going to be those good confirmation candles, because we're going to have the market dropping into this area. This candle that comes into this zone should get rejected. That is called our rejection candlestick. Then we'll have the one that shows us that the buyers are stepping in to the zone, and then we'll have another candlestick that shows us that the buyers have stepped in, and it will break out of this area. That is called our confirmation candlestick. After we see that, we'll be really ready to shoot up to the top and then break out of the all-time highs. Right, so this is going to require a lot of patience, especially if you're going to trade like that. If we don't see that, the exact same thing that I just drew out here is what I want to see in this bottom level here. And then, yeah, that's exactly how we're going to obliterate the market on the NASDAQ for this particular trade. Let's go over on to gold. Yes, let us see what gold is saying for us. Yeah, now on gold, you do understand that we are already in a beautiful trade. This is very self-explanatory, a very beginner trade. You can see that we have a bullish engulfing candlestick breaking out of this trend line, showing us that the buyers are currently in control. We do have a low here and then a higher low than the previous one. And then we had a high, which is right over here. And then notice this high that it formed is higher than this one, right? So you see, you always want to see the structure. So we have a high and then we have a higher high, right? Then at the bottom here, we had a low, which is this one. Let me mark it up nicely. Then we had a higher low. You see, so this is showing us that the buyers are in control. Obviously, my stop loss for this particular one had to accommodate this level right over here. So I slightly put it below like that. And then my take profit is going to just be like up there, because this is more like a swing trade. We have already broken out of this particular structure and we want to start a new trend. And then I always love to catch new trends using a momentum candlestick, because it's telling us that there is momentum. The buyers, they have enough fuel to push the market up to the top, which is why I would prefer to turn this into a swing trade. So obviously it will require a lot of patience, but you can already see that we're pretty much at break even on this particular trade. If you want to join us, you can absolutely do that. If you want to look for, let's say your account is not that big or it can't accommodate that type of stop loss, then you just want to play around with the structure here. You want to find another support area. Let me see if I can just, try and mark it up for you guys if I can see one. Right, so what we're already having here is a resistance zone that the market just formed right out of this zone. Now notice we had a resistance zone, right? But then the market failed to break out of that resistance. It broke out, but it did not close. So it did not disrespect this resistance zone. So what you want to first do, if your account is a small one, wait for it to come and disrespect this resistance zone first, because you know that it is now going into new territory, right? So it's going to find support somewhere. because right now I don't see any support area. So it's going to find, well, I mean, we can use these levels, but then to me, I don't really, see good candles to use those as confirmation, right? So what I would prefer to do is wait for it to break out of this area. Then I would have a more confirmed trade. Then after it does that, then we can now look for it coming back to this zone as the support. Then ride it up to the top. In fact, you would have a better stop loss because it will now be under this area here. So that will be pretty much it for those that will be looking on for an entry on gold. But as far as we're already in, then the last chart, which is going to be our Bitcoin chart. I did not actually trade Bitcoin for this particular week. It was not looking, that good. As you can see, the trade that I had caught from last week, which was around about this level to there, yeah, it just came back, retested the zone, and then has gone up. So what I would expect to do for this week, we have confirmed. You remember what I was saying, right? You want to see it breaking out and closing outside. As it comes back, you can always get another trade. But what I want to see here is the market breaking out of this particular zone, because it is at a resistance zone. Notice, right? You can see, and it hasn't broken out of that zone. Once I see a nice breakout, the same thing that I've been saying, we will now just jump right into the trade, and we're going to be targeting the next resistance zone, which is going to be right at that particular zone. So this will be a very beautiful trade. It will look something like this. Let's say we break out and then we're here. Our stop loss will go somewhere here, and then our take profit will be like that. Oops. Somewhere here. And then our take profit will be like that. So after we see a breakout and a confirmation, that's exactly what we'll be looking to do on Bitcoin. Let me see if I drop to a lower time frame. You can then play around with it. I mean, if you want to adjust all of these other levels, you just then play around with it to see what suits your account best, right? And you see how much money you will be risking. For Bitcoin, I always risk around $2,500 for those trades, because they normally just, are swing trades for me. I can hold it for like 4 or 5 days. But anyway, yes, that's about it. The charts don't look complicated as usual. All of the setups, in fact, look really nice. I'm looking forward to having a good week, and I hope you guys will have one too. So if you did enjoy this video and you found the breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, turn your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel. You feel me? With that, it's been Tino, and I'll see you guys in the next lit video. Love you guys.
Yeah.